My name is Benjamin Carter, I'm 35 years old. I'm an architect in New York. I was adopted when I was 6 months old. I applied to Family Reunion Services to find my real family. Consultant Jennifer Williams said, guaranteed results. I paid $15,000. After 4 months, they introduced me to my biological brother, Lucas. We looked so similar that I was amazed. We started spending time together, sharing childhood stories. For 6 months I felt like real family. Until the day I saw Lucas as a brother in another family. The truth I learned that day turned my life upside down. I'm Benjamin Carter. I work as a senior architect at Henderson Architecture firm in Manhattan. I've been in this profession for 12 years. I design skyscrapers, office buildings, residential projects. I'm one of the architects contributing to New York's skyline. But there was always something missing in my life. I didn't know my roots. Who are my mother and father? Do I have siblings? Where do I come from? These questions occupied my mind until I was 35 years old. I was adopted when I was 6 months old. My adoptive family, the Carters, were wonderful people. They loved me, raised me like their own child. I never lacked any love. Robert and Helen Carter gave me a perfect childhood. But I was still curious about my biological roots. Genetic heritage, medical history, siblings. This curiosity increased with age. In March 2023, while researching online, I found Family Reunion Services. It said, Professional Family Finding Service for Adopted Children. The website was very professional. Success stories, customer reviews, scientific methods. CEO Dr. Patricia Williams's profile was very impressive. PhD in genetics from Yale University. 15 years of missing person investigations at FBI, over 2,000 successful family reunions. The guarantees written on the website were very encouraging, 95% success rate with DNA analysis. Money-back guarantee. Professional detective services. Customer reviews were also very positive. We reunited with my brother after 20 years. It was the happiest day of my life. Thanks to Family Reunion Services, I found my biological mother. Perfect service. It was worth the money I paid. I was reunited with my real family. These reviews convinced me. I immediately made an appointment. Family Reunion Services office was in a very elegant skyscraper on Park Avenue in Manhattan. 42nd floor, glass offices, modern decoration. The reception area was very luxurious. Marble floor, crystal chandeliers, leather armchairs. On my appointment day, receptionist Sarah greeted me, Mr. Carter, welcome. Jennifer Williams is waiting for you. Jennifer Williams's office was very impressive. Large windows. Manhattan view, antique desk. Success certificates, university diplomas, customer thank you letters hung on the walls. Jennifer was a woman in her 40s, short brown hair, professionally dressed. She had a smiling, friendly, trustworthy demeanor. Benjamin, it's wonderful to meet you. I was very moved by our phone conversation where you explained your situation. I understand adopted children search for roots very well. Jennifer gave me a detailed presentation. Benjamin, our system has 3 stages. First stage is DNA analysis. We extract your genetic profile in our laboratory. Second stage is government record scanning. Birth certificates, adoption records, hospital records. Third stage is private investigation. We use professional detectives. The process looked very scientific. Jennifer showed me sample files. DNA reports, family tree diagrams, detailed investigation files. Benjamin, the process takes an average of 3 to 6 months. Our success rate is 95%. If we can't find your family, we refund 80% of your money. The cost was $15,000. It was an expensive figure but seemed reasonable for lifelong happiness. Jennifer, I've decided. I want to get this service. Excellent, Benjamin. We're starting a journey that will change your life. That day I signed the contract. I paid the $15,000 by bank transfer. I gave a saliva sample for DNA. I delivered copies of my adoption documents. Jennifer gave me a tracking number. Benjamin, you can track your process online with this number. We'll inform you at every stage. When I left her office, I was very excited. I was finally going to find my real family. My 35-year curiosity would end. The first 3 weeks passed very quickly. Every day I visited Family Reunion Services website. I saw the message, DNA analysis in progress. At the end of the 4th week, the status was updated, DNA analysis completed. Government records scanning started. Jennifer called me with information. Benjamin, your DNA profile is ready. You gave a very high-quality sample. Now we're looking for matches in government records. In the 6th week another update came. First match is found. Detailed investigation started. This news made me very excited. So a family had really been found. At the end of the 8th week, Jennifer called me, "Benjamin, there are very important developments. I want you to come to the office." The next day I was in Jennifer's office. There was a thick file on the desk. "Benjamin, I have wonderful news. We found your biological brother." My heart started beating fast. It was the most exciting moment of my life. "Your brother's name is Lucas Thompson. He's 33 years old. He lives in Brooklyn. He works as a graphic designer." Jennifer showed me Lucas's photo. I was amazed. The resemblance was incredible. Same nose, similar eye shape, same hair structure. "Benjamin, you were adopted when you were 6 months old. Lucas was also adopted to different families when he was 2 years old. Your biological mother was Sarah Thompson. She was 19 years old then. She gave her children up for adoption due to economic difficulties. Is my biological mother still alive?" "Unfortunately, Benjamin. Sarah Thompson passed away in 2018 from a heart attack. But we found Lucas. You can meet your brother." This news was very emotional. I wouldn't be able to meet my mother, but I could reunite with my brother. "Does Lucas know about the situation?" "He doesn't know yet, Benjamin. We wanted to get your approval first. If you want, we'll organize your first meeting." "Of course I want to, Jennifer. When can we meet?" "First we'll talk to Lucas. Then we'll arrange for you to meet in a neutral place." 3 days later Jennifer called, "Benjamin, Lucas is very excited. He's eager to meet you. We arranged for you to meet on Sunday at Central Park." I couldn't sleep that week. I kept looking at Lucas's photo. After 33 years I was going to meet my brother. On Sunday at 2 p.m. I was by Central Park Bethesda Fountain. My heartbeat was very fast. I saw someone approaching from afar. I realized it was Lucas. We looked even more alike than in the photo. "Are you Benjamin?" "Yes, you must be Lucas." Our first hug was very emotional. Both of our eyes filled with tears. "My brother? I finally found you, Benjamin. I was wondering about you a lot too, Lucas." We talked for 3 hours in Central Park. Lucas told me about his childhood. His adoptive family, the Thompsons, school years, university, career. "Benjamin, did you ever feel like you were adopted?" "Actually, I always felt something missing, Lucas." "What about you?" "I experienced the same thing. I always thought I had siblings." This conversation was very meaningful. We both had experienced similar feelings. Lucas took me to his graphic design studio. He was talented. He did very beautiful work. "Benjamin, you do architecture, I do graphic design. We're both in the arts field." This similarity was also very interesting. The genetic connection was showing itself. From that day on, we started seeing each other constantly. We spent weekends together. We went to Yankees games, tried restaurants, visited museums. Lucas told me childhood memories. "Benjamin, I always felt like I had an older brother. I would dream of sharing my toys with him." These memories were very realistic. The details were very clear. Once I dreamed that I played baseball with my older brother. "Do you like baseball, Benjamin?" "Yes, Lucas, I love it. I'm a Yankees fan." "Me too." Incredible similarity. These kinds of common points brought us very close. For 3 months we had a brotherly relationship. We made vacation plans together. Lucas introduced me to his adoptive family. The Thompson family welcomed me very warmly. "Benjamin, Lucas has been very happy since he found you. You're part of our family now too." This acceptance made me very happy. At 35 years old I was experiencing the feeling of real family. Lucas's adoptive mother Margaret showed me photos. "This is Lucas at 5 years old. Doesn't he look so much like you, Benjamin?" The resemblance was indeed amazing. At the end of the 4th month, Lucas made me a special offer. "Benjamin, let's rent an apartment together. Let the brothers live together." This offer seemed very attractive. But I thought it was still early. "Lucas, that's a great idea. But let's wait a little more. Let's see the natural development of our relationship." "Of course, Benjamin. Let's not rush." In the 5th month, Lucas and I visited our biological mother's grave together. Sarah Thompson's grave was in Woodlawn Cemetery. "Hello, Mother. You finally brought your children together." Lucas got very emotional at the graveside. I was also affected. "Benjamin, I wish we had known our mother. At least we found each other, Lucas." At the beginning of the 6th month, Lucas brought me a surprise gift. A specially designed frame with a photo of 2 brothers. "Benjamin, this is our first brother portrait." The frame was very beautiful. I put it in my office. The same week Lucas had his birthday party. He invited me too. "Benjamin, this is my first birthday party with my brother. I'm very excited." The party was held at a trendy restaurant in Brooklyn. Lucas had a very wide circle of friends. Graphic designers, artists, creative people. Lucas introduced me to everyone. This is my older brother Benjamin. He's an architect. My brother I found last month. Everyone found our story very romantic. What a beautiful story. Brothers reunited after 33 years. The party was very fun. Lucas's friends welcomed me very warmly. Toward the end of the party, as we were leaving the restaurant, I noticed something strange. I saw someone who looked very much like Lucas in the cafe across the street. At first I thought my eyes were deceiving me. But the man really looked like Lucas. Lucas, there's someone who looks like you in the cafe across the street. Lucas looked, that's probably my doppelganger. Everyone has a look-alike in New York. This explanation was logical. It was normal to encounter similar-looking people in New York. But that image stuck in my mind. They really looked very similar. The next week Lucas and I were watching a game at Yankee Stadium. I went to the bathroom in the 7th inning. While walking in the corridor, I encountered a shocking scene. I saw Lucas. But Lucas was sitting with me in our seats. Were there two Lucases? I couldn't believe my eyes. I followed corridor Lucas. He was sitting with another family. A middle-aged couple and a young woman. The middle-aged man was addressing Lucas as son. Son, when are you planning to get married? Dad, it's still early. This conversation was very surprising. Did Lucas have another family? I quickly returned to my seat. Lucas was still there. Lucas, I spent a long time in the bathroom. Did you miss me? Of course, big brother. The game wasn't fun without you. Lucas was acting normal. But I was in shock. After the game I asked Lucas some questions. Lucas, do you have any close relationships other than your adoptive family? No, Benjamin. Why are you asking? Just curious. You're a very social person. Actually, I don't have many friends, Benjamin. I was lonely until you came. This answer was contradictory. He had many friends at the party. After returning home, I thought about the situation. I had seen two different Lucases. How could this be possible? The next day I called Lucas. Lucas, are you available tomorrow evening? Did we have dinner plans? Benjamin, there's a family dinner in Brooklyn tomorrow. I can't make it. Which family? The Thompson family? Yes, monthly family gathering. This information was contradictory. Yesterday he was with another family at the stadium. My suspicions were growing. I decided to research Lucas. I searched for Lucas Thompson on LinkedIn. He had a profile. He appeared as a graphic designer. But I had never heard of the company he worked for. I researched the company. The website of the company, called Creative Design Solutions, was very basic. Only 3 pages, no contact information, very amateur portfolio examples. This seemed suspicious. It was strange for a professional designer to work at such an amateur company. I examined Lucas's social media accounts. He only had 200 followers on Instagram. He wasn't very active. The photos he shared were also very general, no specific details. His Facebook account was also very empty. Friend list was only 50 people. I didn't know most of them. There was very little online presence for a professional designer. I started asking Lucas technical questions to test my suspicions. Lucas, which design software do you use? Photoshop? Illustrator? Standard programs. So what was your last project? Logo design for a restaurant. His answers were very general and lacking detail. A real designer would give more specific information. Which restaurant? A small place in Brooklyn. The name doesn't matter. This evasive answer increased my suspicion. The next week I decided to visit Lucas's workplace. The address was in a business building in Lower Manhattan. When I went to the building, I couldn't find Creative Design Solutions. There was no such company in the directory. I asked the security guard, is there a company called Creative Design Solutions here? No sir, there's no such company. This was very suspicious. Where did Lucas work? That evening I called Lucas. Lucas, can I visit your office tomorrow? Benjamin, why do you want to see my office? I'm curious. I'd like to see my brother's work environment. Actually, Benjamin, there's office renovation this week. It's very messy. Another time would be better. This explanation was very suspicious. He was constantly finding excuses. My suspicions were starting to become certain. Lucas's identity seemed problematic. I decided to hire a private investigator. I researched a reliable agency in Manhattan. I found Peterson Investigations, a firm with 20 years of experience. CEO Robert Peterson was a former FBI agent. Mr. Carter, how can I help you? I explained the situation. Mr. Peterson, I found my brother 6 months ago. But I noticed suspicious situations. What kind of suspicions? He gives contradictory information. The company he works for doesn't exist. I saw him in 2 different places. These situations are indeed suspicious. Let's do a detailed investigation. Peterson gave me a contract. I paid $5,000 investigation fee. Mr. Carter, I'll prepare a detailed report about Lucas Thompson within 1 week. I waited anxiously for 1 week. I tried to maintain my normal relationship with Lucas. Peterson called me to report the result. Mr. Carter, I urgently need you to come to my office. There are very important findings. I went to Peterson's office. There was a thick file on his desk. Mr. Carter, Lucas Thompson's real identity is very different. What do you mean? Lucas Thompson is not his real name. His real name is Marcus Rodriguez. He's 29 years old. Professional con artist. I was shocked. Was my brother fake? Marcus Rodriguez has a criminal background. Identity theft, fraud, impersonation. He's committed fraud in 3 different states. So who is my biological brother? Mr. Carter, I have to give you news that will hurt. You don't have any biological brother. This news was devastating. For 6 months I had a relationship with a fake brother. Is Family Reunion Services also part of this fraud? Yes, Mr. Carter. Family Reunion Services is a fake company. Professional scam operation. Peterson showed me the evidence. Photos of Marcus Rodriguez with different identities, criminal records, similar frauds he committed in other cities. Rodriguez is currently in relationships with 5 different brothers. He tells the same story to each one. This information was disgusting. Rodriguez was professionally playing the role of fake brother. So does Family Reunion Services have other victims? Yes, Mr. Carter. 47 people have been defrauded in the last 2 years. Total damage is $800,000. These numbers were horrifying. It was a big fraud network. Peterson suggested an action plan. Mr. Carter, I recommend you file a complaint with the police. Let's also contact other victims. I immediately filed a complaint with the Manhattan District Attorney's Fraud Division. Detective Sarah Martinez took the case. Mr. Carter, this is very serious organized crime. We're starting a detailed investigation. 3 days later Marcus Rodriguez was arrested. Family Reunion Services' fake office was also closed. Jennifer Williams was also among those arrested. Her real name was Jessica Turner. Professional scam artist. Federal investigation began. FBI agent David Foster was leading the case. Mr. Carter, this is an interstate fraud case. Federal charges will be brought. During the investigation I found other victims. We created a WhatsApp group. Sarah Davis, 42-year-old teacher, I paid $15,000 and found a fake mother. I was deceived for 8 months. Michael Johnson, 38-year-old doctor, they introduced me to a fake father and sister. I lost $22,000. Lisa Wilson, 29-year-old lawyer, they made me believe I had a twin brother. I paid $18,000. There were 47 victims in total. All our stories were similar. A lawsuit was filed in federal court. United States vs. Rodriguez Crime Organization. Marcus Rodriguez was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. Jessica Turner also received a 6-year prison sentence. Other members of the network also received various sentences. We also won the civil lawsuit. All assets of the network were distributed to victims. My share was $18,000 compensation. I recovered most of my $15,000 loss. Today, 14 months later, I continue my search for real family. This time I'm using legitimate methods. I gave DNA samples to Ancestry DNA and 23andMe. I'm looking for real matches. I haven't found my biological family yet. But I have hope. This experience taught me valuable lessons. Genetic connections are very precious. But scammers exploit this emotional need. Robert from Peterson Investigations had said, Mr. Carter, family bonds are one of our strongest emotions. Criminals know this very well. Marcus Rodriguez is in prison. Jessica Turner too. But similar frauds continue. My advice is this: research Family Reunion Services very carefully. Check references. Do independent verification. I'm still in contact with friends in our victim group. We support each other. Sarah Davis found her real biological brother last month. She used a legitimate DNA service. Benjamin, real family connection feels very different. It can't be compared to the fake one. I believe I'll find my real family too. But this time I'll be much more careful. Family Reunion Services' former office is now empty. Building management doesn't even mention the company's name. The documents Marcus Rodriguez used for fake identities are being held as FBI evidence. This story was the most difficult period of my life. But justice was served in the end. Most importantly, I can warn other people against similar frauds. I return to my architecture job in Manhattan. I'm much wiser and more experienced now. My genetic heritage search continues. But now I know which methods are reliable.